Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo buddhaya, namo dhammaya, namo sankhaya. So good. Good afternoon to everyone here into the evening here in the United States, and good morning to all of you on the east side of the world: Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. I just wanted to give everyone an update about what is going on about the book and what's going on with current programs. So I think all of you know by now that the book is not going to come to fruition. And you notice the smile on my face as I'm saying this. The contract has been terminated, which to me is like a big yes. um Everyone knows that for the past 11 months, every month in 11 every month within those 11 months, I had been moaning and crying about how the book is coming along, and it's just not doable right now at 35 years old with life-saving programs that has been going on. And um, I mean, all of you have been watching and monitoring my progress and everything. So, which is such a good thing, because the fact that this book is not coming to fruition, the within the timeline that they wanted, lifted up about 4,000 pounds off my shoulders, so that I can focus on more salient projects. It also clearly shows all of you, and this is broadcasted across every single platform that I have, is that I prioritize people above everything, serving the people above all. And it is exactly what Buddha wants, is exactly what Jesus wants, exactly what everybody else want and need, which is prioritizing the people above all. Um, and though I know that it was going to be a life-saving book, but it would not have done it any justice, because the book, I wanted it bigger and thicker, um, of my standards, and the way how I was going with it. I didn't feel good about submitting what I had in 11 months. Trying to finish a book in 11 months is uh, quite impossible. But I have uh, I learned so much from it, um, just throughout the whole process. And so I will take what I have learned with me when I'm traveling, to sit with my wonderful cup of tea and sit there and reflect some more. And all of the data that I have been gathering would be a bigger book. So you all can look forward to a very thick book. And at some point in this endeavor, I actually was thinking about making a Buddhist Bible and incorporating all of the teachings in one Buddhist Bible, like literally a modern day Buddhist Bible, because everyone's like, "What is your book list?" And how did you become so wise, and all these other things. And quite frankly, I still kept all of my handwritten notes, and all of these things that I did during my studies and practice, theory, study, and practice. So yeah, I just have a lot of ideas. I just need to sit and put it all together in in a very organized way, because right now things are not organized. And my assistant, and students who have been traveling with me, literally see me sit in the car trying to talk to Siri to type for me, and I find myself repeating over and over again. So I'm just all over the place, admittedly so. What I am proud of is that I went with my heart, and my heart told me that to prioritize all of you and the one-on-one counseling sessions above all. Now, mind you all, had I been a greedy monk for some odd reason, and let's say I was a monk that is all about money, I would have prioritized the book above all. Um, and that I did not. So I'm proud of the way how I handled it from a day-to-day basis. And karmically speaking, I have unshakable faith and confidence in the workings of karma. And I think along the line, karma told me it's not the right time for this, not yet. Be patient. And I don't resist it. I go with the flow, and it is what it is. It can't be what it ain't. So yeah, you guys have a lot of things to look forward to. And today I wanted to bring you guys some news to look forward to. Um, let me see, what else do I need to add in regards to the book before we move on to the next subject. Yeah, there were two publishers at the time. Well, I wasn't even ready for nothing. I had two publishers reached out at the same consecutive concurring time. And so I decided to go with a small publishing company because I figure I was going to get the individualized attention, the same attention I got when I was at Ecker College. Just more individualized, tailored. Hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And this is how we're going to help you through it. And then there's another humongously huge book company. And I had to, I didn't really have time to compare and contrast. I went with a smaller one, and I'm happy that I did. But the person that I was working with, it subsequently left the company, so I kind of felt a little abandoned and kind of like lost. Can you imagine being a monk trying to literally save the world, and then you had some help, and then that help just kind of like disappeared overnight. So there's the opportunity for me to reach out for the big company and say, hey, remember that conversation we had? Well, that contract was terminated, and I was wondering if y'all want to pick it up. um, but this time around, I want to get my transcripts and all that in and ready to go. Not what it was. So a lot of learning along the way, and I should sit and reflect in my own journal. Sitting in This is not my journal, by the way. I just wanted to hold it up for just to make my point. Look, ugly handwriting. um, so y'all can look forward to not just one book, but there's like 7 books that I have in mind along the way. The Art of Buddhist Psychotherapy is one of them. Um, Buddhism for adolescents, Buddhism for teens, Buddhism for police officers, Buddhism for lawyers, Buddhism for the professionals, for nurses, for doctors. The Buddha left us 84,000 teachings. And so it's meant for everybody. And I have full intention of using my clinical experience into expanding that so that the modern day humans can use it effectively within their occupations, job, and so on. So yeah, I just need to be in a place, and we're gonna talk about that here in about 10. Talk about that here in about 10 seconds. Okay, that was the so these laptops are run on these low power banks, so you guys might hear it again, just because these, and then I solar power these power banks, so I don't leave any carbon footprints. I need to be, I just need to be in a place where I have full level concentration and not any other competing priorities so that I can write the books. I just want you all to, I need to write in a way where you all sit there with your cup of tea and you all realize, wow, what an insightful book. A reference that all of you can use for lifetimes to come. That is a well written book, and that is my vision for all of my future books. One can write a half-ass book. One can be quite reckless with it, and so I I was quite reckless with the very first one. So for some of my closest students who are curious about the book, and if you wanted to read what I had so far, um, I will send it to your email just for the fun of it. However, for the rest of the world who is patiently waiting, who were waiting for it, I can tell you all that if you wanted to know what the book is about, and if you all wanted to know what I'm about and how I teach and how to do it, it's all on my YouTube and Facebook. And so, um, again, the way how I taught and the way how I instructed and gave directions, the quality of teachings, the modalities was carefully screened and investigated by publishers. That's why they reached out and they're like, "Hey, do you want to write a book?" Because they've already seen the contents and they've already analyzed it according to their. Let me change power box, y'all. Oh, these things are a pain in the butt. All right. So, so where was I at? That darn beeping thing. Um, oh, I was trying to get my train of thoughts. It's 10 o'clock at night. Okay, so anyways, so that's the book. Uh, I don't want to release the publisher's name. Not yet. Um, so moving along. Oh, that's right. I was telling you guys about my YouTube thing. So anyone who wants to get a tone, nature, and feel of how I teach, what I've been teaching, how you can use it for you to mitigate stress in your life, you guys can visit my YouTube. There's a library of teachings on there, and even a more bigger library on my Facebook, which I'm trying to merge the Facebook thing over to my YouTube. But I've done a great job in keeping an archive for all of you. I mean, as a monk, we always have to pretend like, what if we die? What if I die? So what would I have left the world? And the preservation of Dhamma teachings is one of the most important priority and one of the most important gifts a monk can leave for the people and to bring for the people. Ajahn Chah have always said when he's out giving Dhamma talks, he says, I didn't bring any presents for you guys. I, however, brought this other present for you, and this is the Dhamma, the gift of the Dhamma. The Dhamma is the teachings of the Buddha. So I thought that was really, really neat. And for all of the serious Buddhist practitioners who are yearning to listen to the Dhamma, knows that when a monk sits down, grabs the microphone, their ears are like this, trying to absorb every single word. And so now at the current time, February is coming around the corner, and I have students coming to see me. They were my projects, Project Kayan, Project Mani, and Sahari, their mother, is coming down. So it's like a refresher course and trying to see, just measuring how they've grown, how they have developed, and how well they have remembered and practiced CBT, just the whole 10 yards of that. So they're coming down to see me in February. I like to leave um, the country around March or April, or even late February. I'm due for a vacation to further my training, experience, studies. I have also collaborated with Trova Trip. So if you all visit my link tree, you all will see the survey where you can choose 100, more than over 150 countries. and you do what the survey is asking, which is what's your budget and when do you want to leave and all this other stuff. Trovatrip's got it down to a science. I obviously, over the past 8 years, have tried to coordinate many things. I have ran a lot of experiments as a monk, um, and could not render anything that could be used in modern day. So therefore, it made sense to me, and the right timing. The timing is very important to partner up with and collaborate with and join forces with private companies who can do it so much better, more organized. And I just don't have the resources here to put such retreat together overseas. It's been very challenging. Anyone who's been following me for years know that, because I make it so apparent and so visible and so uniform about my projects. So therefore, to eliminate the headaches, to be more effective and more efficient, I have again collaborated with Trovatrip, and it's all on my link tree. And I'll be publishing videos hereafter in encouraging everyone, those who want to travel with me, and they will gather statistics. Based on those stats, we will narrow down a country. We will narrow down the timeline and how much it's going to cost and stuff like that. But roughly about, I would say four or $5,000 to go. One must ask, what is the price of education? What is the price of spirituality? What is the price of self healing and self transformation and all that? That's something that you all going to have to sit with yourself. Those who see value in traveling, education, perspective, culture, food, the absorption of that aspect, set money aside for traveling, period. There's just some people that just sit and love playing video games all day, every day. And then there's people like my dad who's traveled to, like, I think he's traveled like 40 countries so far. I think he's got multiple passports. He's a professor and he works and still working at 72 years old, um, doing immigration law. And he lives for that. He lives to travel. When he comes back, he's like 10 years younger. So there's a lot of benefits in traveling. And those of you who have not traveled, I encourage you all to do so. I've traveled about 15 times, 15 or 16 times out of the country. Australia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. And I look forward to traveling more. If this Trovatrip things works out, I'm going to be traveling a lot. But it is not just traveling and having fun and doing retreats. It is also having necessary conversations with monks and monastics around the world so that we can improve the effectiveness and efficiency of Buddhism across the world. So there's a lot of projects that I have on my list. I am never with one particular or two or even three. There's always 5 to 6 competing projects and agendas in regards to traveling and meeting necessary people in the hierarchies of Buddhism. So I'm just long overdue for it, and I really look forward to. There goes another power box. I look forward to hosting it, and just going with y'all, having fun. Also, really try to review my teachings. You want some knowledge with you, if you're going to be traveling with me, so that we're on point when we sit and meditate and all of that good stuff. But in general, if you don't like where you are, or there's annoying people around the house and the environment is the way, if life seems stagnant right now, I would encourage to consider traveling. Get out of your environment so you can clear your head, come back more revitalized, re-energized, reinvigorate, refreshing yourself. Staying in one spot can really age you 110 years old. You'd add another like 50 years to your age. Psychologically, right? Maybe not physically, You are still 20, 30, 40 right now, but psychologically, stress can take a toll on you. And by changing your environment, you realize that, oh my God, I needed this. It's no wonder why my dad needs to he takes breaks every year. He goes for a month, at least a month. And there are people who recognizes him. For some reason, they also recognize me, and I have never met them in my life in my own city. And they're like, "Are you Mr. Kwang's son?" And I was like, "Yes." And they're like, your father, when he's here, he travels, he walks, he talks like he's like 30 years old." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds right about him." Um, so it's just amazing, and bless his heart and bless his health. The man has narrowed it down to a science of traveling and just taking care of good health. I mean, literally. The one thing that I also want to say, when I spoke to with Sudi Burnett, every other like Thursday, Sudi Burnett, who is a spiritual teacher, invites me to join with her on Instagram, and we sit and we talk, and I have very much high respect for her, and I have told her over and over again that when they are speaking, I am the student. So this last one, she spoke about uh Zoras. Damn it. Hold on. Let me. Z- Zoroastri. There we go. Hold on. Y'all bear with me for 1 second. I'm bad at pronouncing. The Iranian religion of Zoroastrianism. Okay? Zor. God. Zoroastrianism. There we go. The prophet Zoroaster. And basically, they assert that heaven can be found here on earth. And that sat with me what she said about Zoroastrianism. And I have decided to switch gears of the way how I teach. Again, in college, I really focus on positive psychology, the study of happiness. And mind you, it's very challenging being a monk and making himself available to the public, engaging directly with Buddhist psychotherapy, one-on-one sessions with the public. So I've decided to change gears in the way how I teach. And literally now I teach you all how to create your own heaven here on earth by fully understanding the mind, bringing the mind under control, attend to the mind, and discipline the mind so that we literally create heaven here on earth where we're at this age, at this stage in your life. So I'm quite inspired by what she said. Of course, I am not an expert in Zoroastrianism, but it's something that I will look closely in trying to merge some of its teachings over to Buddhism and um, boost the positivity when it comes to the study of positive psychology and merging that with Buddhism, applied Buddhism. So, yeah, that's something that I need to skillfully sit and put together. It's something that I need to type up. Over the past 8 years, I've been teaching, and you all, obviously don't see me do this as I'm teaching, right? Because I teach the way of a Jan Chao, the Thai forest tradition, where we 99% do not prepare for teachings. We just sit, grab the microphone, and just have at it. Choose a subject, have at it, or answer questions and have at it. But I want it to be more tailored and just a little bit more organized this upcoming year. Furthermore, I also will take the time necessary to reflect on cardinal teachings when you all are traveling with me. So those who are traveling with me and is going through the Trova trip thing, um, when you go visit my again Linktree and you know about it, the Trova trip, I will make it a treat So if I've been teaching gold standards, gold level standard teachings, then I need to dig in the books, in the suttas, and bring you all platinum level teachings, platinum and diamond level teachings. So, truth be told, over the past 8 years, it's kind of like repetitive. Like teachers and professors, they're kind of repetitive on one course. And while I was conducting research about how many students do I have, what are their ages, where they're at in life, how do I meet them there, what are the recommendations, and let's measure their progress. Well, that took years. It literally now it can be called a longitudinal study. And anyway, so I wanted to go back into the Nikayas and select. And you all know, I mean, if I've grown this popular on TikTok over gold standard teachings, and if I dig into the books again, a little bit deeper, opening my eyeballs like they're like magnifying glass, um, into like platinum, diamond level teachings, then I guess that a lot of jaws will be dropping. I've been known to do that. I've been known to have a keen eye for certain words, keywords that bring forth the human spirit, that bring forth the human heart, to open up the human heart to change, for change. And there was something that I posted a couple days ago that said, the work you do on yourself becomes a gift for the rest of the world, becomes a gift for all around you. And so a skillful monk needs to know how to open up the hearts of the people, to embrace what is ahead, to embrace what is ahead for them, for all of you, to deal with head on. It is an unkind world, I agree. It is a hectic world, I agree. But again, I just said that we need to try to make this heaven on earth with the time that we have here. When we think about arahantship, when we think about heaven, it's like, huh. But when we think about how we can truly live skillfully to make heaven on earth, for example, in love, the only time that you're mindful is when you're in love. And when you're truly in love in the moment, you see that you are very much glowing, living, growing, right? Glowing and growing. uh, you know, so just reflect on the many times where you called heaven on earth, the experiences in your life, the zest of life, just the exhilaration, the good times, the good old days. Well, you name it. You all can get really creative with it. So, yeah, I just gotta really take this the many vacations that's ahead, just so that I can clear my mind. And um, obviously, in Buddhism, when we meditate, is to let go of negative acquired emotions and negative acquired bad habits. This monk does not exempt from those two. And part of self care is the necessary idea of traveling. I perhaps is the only monk who haven't traveled for 7 consecutive years in the circle of monks that I know. And they all have been up and out except me. I've sat there for 7 years serving the people. Um, 8, actually, going on 8. It's 2023. So you take 2015 to 2023. That is 8 years I have sat here and served the people. That is a long time of sitting. So this monk needs to get up away from the tree of meditation and take his break to come back and to prepare to serve the masses of the crowd and the masses of suffering, because we all know a lot of things are going to hit the fan soon economically. Wherever life takes us, a monk needs to be prepared for what is ahead and to help people deal with the suffering, the mental suffering and the physical suffering that will come as part of the human condition. Furthermore, as I travel, I like to meet, greet, and offer the position of a so far I have coined this term, Buddhist cardinals, where of which they're well respected, they have large influence, they have the capacity to take on the masses of people, and the people love them. Again, so there's only a few, literally a handful of monks, and recently a nun, that I have been eyeballing, target specific eyeballing, what I call high value targets. And I like to have a conversation with them about the future of Buddhism globally. And I like, if they agree to it, and if they like, I like to appoint them as one of the Buddhist cardinals. And we Buddhist cardinals get together and redefine Buddhism, make appropriate changes and amendments to rules when necessary, with the council, of course. And so basically, a Buddhist cardinal is an influencer in Buddhism, but they must pass all sorts of um, security clearance in regards to morals and ethics, how many years they've been a monk, and whether they're qualified, duly authentic, experienced teachers, global impact. So it's a strenuous thing, and again, I've been following these guys for years, and they've also been following me for years. And it's a coin term, and please don't be attached to these terminologies that I use in Buddhism, but it is a terminology used so that if you all are ever with me and I point out and I said, "You see that venerable? That would be a Buddhist cardinal. That would be one of the cardinals." And you all realize the capacity that he holds, and you all would just know, because you see, well, in this tradition, everyone wears the same thing, so you don't know who is who. In the Mahayana, they have the squares on their robes, so you realize, oh, well, he's been in the game for 30 years. um as in the monkhood, okay, not he's been in it, in the profession, in the occupation uh of the holy order for an X amount of time. And one who does not have those squares in the Mahayana, or small squares, you can see that it just started out a couple years. Um, but anyways, so there's just a lot of things to do in Buddhism on my agenda within the monastic side. I'm just reviewing my head to see if I'm forgetting anything else. It seems so far that there isn't enough to hold an ordination, temporary ordination. That's something that I have also spoke about. But I think that when I spoke about it, not a lot of people really tuned in. And given the current amount of people that wants to be ordained, I don't believe that it is enough for me to hold such event. with the time that I have left. So that's going to have to be left for when the time is appropriate. Perhaps when all of the cardinals get together, all of the Buddhist cardinals get together. Um, so I just don't know what they also have in store for me. I know that some of them wants to have conversations. So depending on the outcome of those conversations, more additional programs or novice ordination programs or programs for women who wants to be ordained, we can start that conversation. California is going to be a state that I'll be visiting. There's the Bhikkhuni order over there, and my teachers over there, and my best friends over there, and other people in the world of psychotherapies over there that I need to meet. So again, pending the outcome of that, more things will commence. Not again, I can't tell you all what the future holds. I can only give you all a ballpark of what's happening. This particular year, things are going to move quite quick for this particular year. All I can tell you is, again, today we spoke about how I'm traveling, and I want to take you all with me. So those who have the idea, who sees the value in traveling, who wants to travel to another country, and if we choose Vietnam in the Trova trip, you all will get to meet my very first teachers who trained me at in my own city at a monastery that is located on this little mountain, and it is so amazing to just go there and realize, oh my god, the making of this venerable happened here. He started here. Venerable Jidao started here, and he started here with death meditation in with this monk, and you all get to see Venerable Tong. And it's funny, Venerable Yutatamo Bhikkhu, his teacher was Venerable Tong, but it was spelled differently, but pronounced the same. And I also have a Venerable Tong in Yanjiang City, and so it would be a true treat for all of you to walk my city with me, um, to see where I went on the beach, and just there's the richness of history and the biography with the teacher is going to be quite unprecedented, and that's something I want you all to reflect on. And again, if you haven't started saving, I would say start saving now, because it's going to cost around like $4,000 or $5,000 in general. Anywhere that you travel in the world, you always want to have at least $4,000 or $5,000 anyways, from my experience. Yeah, I just really look forward to it, and blessed are those, blessed are those who got to hear my teachings, blessed are those who's been following me for 8 years, and blessed are those foreseeable future who will be traveling with me and to absorb the richness of the Dhamma and the richness of the Sangha, which is the richness of Buddhism and its representatives and the biography of its representatives, the timeline of it, just everything. I'm just trying to put myself in y'all's shoes, and so along the way in my life, I've had people that I also looked up to, and if they told me, "Yeah, I'm traveling, and come see my original city where I was born and raised," and then subsequently I came back to my city X amount of years later and continue, started my training here, I would be like, "Oh my god, let me go pack my bags and drain the bank account." Furthermore, talking about draining the bank account, in life, would you gather material things that you literally get bored of? Material things that you get bored of. Look at all of the materials things that we have in our life. We get bored of, and we just want more of whatever it is. Once you have a car, you want a bigger one. Once you have a car, you want a fancy one. If it's carbon, what is it, microfiber seat, you want leather seat. You just want more of that. But ever thought about purchasing experience? Like, for example, when I went to Cambodia, it was amazing. like the energy you feel at Angkor Wat was like, and to look at some of the the statues, the antiquity of the Buddha heads, I was like, my eyes were like, oh my god, I'm standing like like it felt like thousands and thousands of years of history, and just like, whoa. Now all of you have watched Laura Croft, right? In Tomb Raider. Remember there were points where she was in the monastery and you saw all of that. Oh, we have a bunch of comments over here on. So remember that Angelina Jolie was in the monastery, and just like all of the, just how antique and old the temples were. Well, I was there. I was like, oh my god. Then my treat was on my way out or something, like there were two young 16-year-old monks in orange saffron robes, and I was like, oh, monks. And I ran over there and I was like, can I take a picture with can I take picture with you? Of course, I had done dyed my hair blonde. Yes, yes, my hair was blonde. I was in the partying age and stage. So these monks were like, I mean, obviously I had this backpack on. Obviously, they knew I was a tourist. So obviously they know my nature and intent, and they were like, okay, dude, you can stand right there. But Agata was so jealous. I was like, man, they get to like roam around this temple. Just the energy, the collective energy, just the just I don't even know how to describe it. Oh, just the peace. I just didn't want to leave. I really didn't. I didn't want to leave. I should have just ordained, just stay there. I mean, there's visa requirements and all that. I mean, so I had to go back, or else I would have just stayed there. I would have been like, can I become um a citizen of Cambodia and just stay here? So yeah, it's just breathtaking, y'all. It really is breathtaking. That's something that I'm trying to get open up your eyes into the experience of traveling. You know, it's I'm telling you. One of my teachers says, Venerable Toai Khan, also known as Venerable, oh my God, what's his other name that he uses in Vietnamese? Yak Wing, Venerable Yak Wing. He says that we change based on what we see. And that stuck with me. But it's deeper, of course. It's deeper, more profound in Vietnamese than in English. A lot of things are very deep and profound in Vietnamese. Like if you ever listen to like Vietnamese love songs, they're like really psychologically deep. It really penetrates your heart. So there are certain words that are very deep in Vietnamese, and most venerable Giác Nguyên Toại Khanh said that, he says, tu vì cái cách nhìn, đi coi nhìn để tu, để biết. I was like, wow. And he gave examples of traveling. And he says you have to go see the four sights that the Buddha saw. And when you go to third world countries, that's what you see. When you go to third world countries, that's what's happening. You will get to see the four sights that the Buddha saw. And um, so literally, when your heart is moved, you find yourself changing and not even know it. But your heart is moved based on what you have witnessed firsthand. And in Buddhism, everything has to be experienced for oneself. There's no amount of words I can tell you that will do it justice. You have to be there, you have to experience it, and you have to see it, you have to feel it. And you realize that this is the penetrating truth of the true nature of reality of life, the true nature of reality of the first noble truth. And and to examine your second noble truth. So it's just very profound. Now, as a direct result of me, having to done all of these traveling before becoming a monk, I brought to the table, you know, I don't know, like 2, 3 years ago, before achieving 1 million followers, was that's what you all got. It's like, well, how did Venerable Chi got to where he is today with the magnitude of people is following him? Because of all the collective experience in my life, collective experience, collective studies, collective experiences. Um, and that's what I brought to the table. And that's what's so unique about other monks, is that once you get to learn about their history, you realize, whoa, he was trained in Myanmar, he was trained in Thailand, he was a Thai forest monk. You start reading all of these things about them, and you realize that this man has a wealth of information for us to liberate ourselves. So I'm just reading some of the comments on TikTok. TikTok's very engaging with comments. I'll get to them. I see all you guys comment because I slide across and it's like the comments are like very pronounced and very visible. At some point, I also quantify the making of this particular monk, which I don't know. It probably costs like I'm probably at like $400,000-500,000 with my education, of college and trials and errors and all the mistakes I've made in my life that amounted to the making of this monk, bringing to the table the fact that he has fallen in love, he has been in trouble, he got out of trouble, he has suffered greatly. Now he's bringing all of this to the table to help other people liberate themselves. He has hit rock bottom. He knows what addiction is like. He knows what suffering is like. He knows what physical suffering, mental suffering is like. Um, so I sat there and I'm like, well, your life, how much money did you cost your parents, and how much money did you cost yourself? And I realized that I have costed like the totality of my life in the quantification of the making of this monk is about $400,000, 500,000, on or about. And no different than any other doctors out there. In turn, one could say that he is a young spiritual doctor, just because the amount of money of all the mistake. One cannot become this wise without making these trials and errors and mistakes in his life, legal troubles, troubles in love, just the whole shebang, the whole shebang. No, like some people are like, well, you've never suffered before. How could you teach suffering? It's like, well, but darling, you don't know where I've been. So, um, I've lost everything in my life like 4 times, 3, 4 times in my life. Had to rebuild everything. Um, Fallen in love 7 times, and it's just God. There's so many thorns I stepped on throughout my whole life to learn the lessons necessary to grow. Um, and bringing that to the table for everybody, to make sense. I mean, especially Buddhist psychotherapy is one of the hardest thing ever. It's because I'm walking through life with you. The one-on-one counseling sessions that I've been engaged in the past 8 years, well, 5 years publicly. When I say eight, 5 of those years is public. Like the camera started rolling 5 years ago. But before that, I've already been engaged in social work at a very young age. And to close my eyes, hold the phone, and to ask you, where have you been in your life? Tell me about your childhood. I am basically walking with you back in time, facing facing the good, the bad, and the ugly, facing it one last time, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is. One has to fully understand suffering in order to do that, or else I would be wasting your time, my time, everybody else's time, not carrying out the counseling sessions, effectively. Just the whole science behind it. Okay, whew, y'all can tell I'm like running out of breath with the time because I have to teach tomorrow at 9. Sunday service at 9 Florida time. Um, and then lastly, lastly, with all of the research that I have done in trying to get people to give more and take less through the life-saving programs, the CBT programs, and the rapid realization program, and all the programs that I have aforementioned over the past God knows how many years, I've have decided to authorize the T-shirts. Ugh, down at my car. They're not even up here. But if you go back to the TikTok and the Instagram and the Facebook, Sahari designed these T-shirts with my name, and it says help create a new world. Chi Dao Monk, free Buddhist education, meditation, and counseling. And all of you can purchase a shirt. It's like $25. 15 goes to the raw materials and labor. What it's literally, she has to do it by hand. It's amazing. You see the whole video, it's all on there. And 10 of those dollars go to my programs to further my mission with the ever pressing issue prevalence and spike of student suicides, and the ever pressing issue of student resiliency, the dropout rates. So, I've tried every avenue, and we just don't have donors. We don't have repetitive donors. We don't have, just don't, for years. Um, and I have decided to authorize that. Well, maybe they, maybe they'll spend money. Maybe they want to spend money and they want something to show for it. And well, what better way to show for it with a T-shirt? And as you all make these purchases, and the donations go to where they need to go, Sahari can get more creative in doing hoodies and whatever, however she does it. She's a wonderful. She is the owner of Flying Lotus Apparel, and the Spiritual Ninja series is a sister company apart from the Flying Lotus Apparel. She's a very dedicated Buddhist, a very ethical and moral woman that I have adjudicated and to engage into this endeavor with her in hope to have the funding necessary to further my programs that you all have been observing over the past God knows how long. And again, very disheartening to watch 3 students die over the past year because of lack of funding. And every time when I talk about that, it I start to choke up and just always wonder. People go to bed at night. I don't know what they thinking, but when I go to bed at night and I just ask myself, "Damn it, how could these deaths how could have been prevented?" And just the amount of self blame and guilt I put on my shoulders was no. Damn it, I can't even find words. Is is no damn was part reason why I couldn't finish my book. So because all of my attention and concentration was focused on life-saving program, and I wrote them that. I was like, I'm sorry, here's partial of the book. I have to attend to some of these life-saving yeah, but it's also no excuses, that I've engaged in contract with them, but it's something, it's something sit with me for a while as frontline practitioner. Um, and at the end of the day, I have to conclude that I did the best I could with the time that I have, with the resources available to me, and with the people that I'm with. And at this time, it's hate to tell y'all, but It's been critical with the fundings, and I mean I'm reserving right now. s- I am reserving certain words I don't certain statements I don't want to make. Um, but there were a lot of times in doubts of these programs and my positions in, just there was just a lot of doubts. So I hope that these programs, the authorizations of these shirts, you know, and the Trovo trip. So visit my link tree. Every social media platform here has my link tree. Just visit the link tree. And again, really ask yourself, so what can you do to help promote Buddhism? What can you do to help us create a new world peace, compassion, understanding? Truly ask yourself, your life, all of us have this life to live together on this planet. What How are we going to proceed on forward? We got 12-year-olds shooting cops. We got, well, a sixth grader that shot a teacher not too long last week. You Google all of this, you're going to see it. The question I have for all of you, the challenge here is that your choice, every day you have choices to make, and it defines who you are. And as a human and as a visitor on this planet, what are you going to do to contribute to this home that we all share and cohabitate with? How do you contribute to living in harmony and creating the causes and conditions for a safe world, a world that is conducive for learning, a world that is conducive for acceptance? It's 2023. We still have hates with LGBTQ community, and we still have hate against women. This is ridiculous. We have so much work to do, and they want to go to Mars. Well, you go to Mars, you're going to create the same problem you did here on Earth because nothing's changed. Unless things change here on Earth, you go to Mars, you're going to carry the problem with you. So again, I just wanted to make aware all of you, what can you do? And again, this year I authorized the t-shirt programs, so that you run around and you're basically promoting School of Jidao, School of Buddhism, um, and with every shirt that you all are wearing, um, and purchasing it, contributes to a safer world, contributes to a more intelligent world, a more wiser and kinder world. Um, and again, I just again think about how we give more and take less with our time that we have here. I know why I said all these things. The death of the late Pope Benedict the 16th. For some reason, I watched his funeral in details and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die one day. Just like all of us gonna die one day. But for some reason, it was something about his funeral. And I was like, then I started to reflect on my own life. And I was like, 160 something thousand people went to the Pope Emeritus. And I realized that, Jidao, when you die, how many people are going to show up to your funeral? And when you die, what have you given back to the world? And so I started to think about scale. Um, I started to think about scale, and I started to think about how to expand Buddhism, like these life-saving programs, um, making an impact. How would I want to be remembered? So therefore, this also in turns back to you guys. How would you like to be remembered? Yeah, granted, I don't, I'm not here to tell you, yeah, let's, you have to change the world and all that, but be remembered as a person who gave more and took less. Be remembered a person who thought about the needs of others, poverty, people who are dying of mental illness, people who are suffering through mental illness, and what you did to contribute towards that. And we, all of us here at the School of Qidao, have made it so easy for people to contribute. All you had to do is go to the link tree and just hit link tree, and there it is. um, so again, get everybody and your mama to wear the t-shirts and walk through the mall with it, walk in public with it, talk about it. I hope to strike you all as, I mean, you all chose me as your teacher, so go talk about it. You know, people were like, well, who's Jidao? What's that shirt all about? Why do you wear that shirt? And be like, Jidao is a monk that teaches for free, and he's trying to save our kids from killing themselves and killing other people, um, and support his cause. We need more monasteries in the United States. We need more monks in the United States. We need more qualifying English speaking, good, authentic, experienced teachers in America so that they can serve the people in the West where a lot of violence are taking place. To bring forth unity, to bring forth acceptance. I believe, I don't think I've heard any other monks stand up for LGBTQIA plus. Have anyone y'all want to like write your comments or direct message me, because I haven't, you know. And if you looked at my Instagram, I took this humongous umbrella, this like LGBT, it screams LGBTQIA plus umbrella, and I was just out and about with it. It was one bold statement walking on Clearwater Beach, all in orange with an LGBTQIA plus umbrella, to make a statement that Buddhism will stand with gays, bisexual, transgender, lesbian. I don't care if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Japanese. Buddhism will stand with you side by side. If they hate on you, well, guess what? There's this monk named Qidao. He's going to be there advocating for you, for your own peace. So again, the part of this program is cultivating the next generation of monks to be courageous, to step forth into the howling wind with bravery and courage, and standing for what needs to be stood up for. Um, and I won't have it. I've been in the US for 27, 28 years. I've seen it all. I have tracked it historically. I have very well aware of the political division, well aware of the social division, well aware of Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, all lives matter, police lives matter, all of that across the board. Oh my God, the stuff that we have to study to be a well-rounded monk. So again, as each and every single one of you contribute to the programs, that's what it's going to so much more. That have, like, if I sit here and just talk about in the details of it all, this talk go on 4 a.m, folks, all day, every day. So you all get the point. And maybe I should probably need to make a flyer now that I have a little bit more time, given the new development of the book not coming to fruition. But I think you all understand where I'm coming from and how I'm sounding the alarm and bells again, so that we can get things moving. Again, where Buddhism thrives, the world thrives. Where Buddhism flourish, everybody flourish. And where there is no power bank's dead. Let me grab another one. This is everything turned off. Let me see this. Oh, let me just put this one over here. Oh, goodness. get this charger over here. Okay. So where there is no monasteries, you see that there's a lot of violence, more violence incomparable to places with Buddhism, and so on. So again, really reflect on these words that I'm telling you all. Please don't take it lightly, and please try to make a difference as much as you can. Please donate. Please visit the link tree. Please buy a shirt. Do something. Dedicate your body, speech, and mind for the benefit of others. When you have nothing to give your body, speech, and mind. Actions, words. Think nice thoughts. Be kind. Be nice to each other. We need more of that. Be infectious with love so that others can see it. Be kindful so that everyone can see it. Let everyone look at the change and they're like, wow, well, I mean, if he's nice, I'm going to be nice too. If he opens the door, I'm going to be opening the door too. So again, I like to conclude this talk for tonight. I think I have discussed it pretty comprehensively. Tomorrow is Sunday service, so all of you who would like to tune in tomorrow, please do so on all platforms. All platforms will be rolling. Again, visit my link tree to take the Trova Trip survey if you plan to travel with me. And those who would like to contribute to Buddhism and purchase the wonderful, beautiful shirt. There's one on. Hold on, let me check because she just did another design. Let me tell you all about this other design that she did, and as it relates to the poster that I held up that blew up virally. It says, "Let that shit go." A picture of the Buddha. And it says, "Let that shit go" underneath it. I love it. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. See if it's on there. Because if everyone runs and then it says School of Ji Dao on the back. Let me see it. Oh, it's on there. Where's my other iPad? Damn it. All right. So if you go to etsy.com shop /spiritual ninjas, you see it's right there. I can't even flip this darn thing over. Hold on, let me get my hold on. Let me. Oh, these things are very necessary. Oh wait, where's my? There it is. So the poster, right? The poster. The poster when I went to Office Depot, whatever, and I held up the poster, and people were like, "Oh my god, where do I get one of those posters?" Well, now you can get the T-shirt, and on the back it says School of Ji Dao. Yeah, let me show you guys. I can't believe she did that, but it's catchy. It's catchy, and it inspires Gen Zs, and it inspires all of you. So, okay, wonderful. So I hope you guys can see this. When you go on a link tree, the first one is Trova Trip. The first one is the for the whoever wants to travel with me. You click the first one. Then the second one says the T-shirt program. The Ji Dao's T-shirt to promote Buddhism and take you to Etsy. And here it is. Hold on. Oh, we got 110 people watching. All right, you ready? All right, black shirt. Right, it says "Let that shit go." Oh man, this is gonna be great. And then on the back it says School of Ji Dao. I need to start making videos School of Ji Dao because people are gonna Google School of Ji Dao and it's probably not gonna show up my face and my teachings. You put Venerable Ji Dao, it will show up. But then here's the other shirt, folks. Here is, God, it's beautiful. My goodness. So this is the logo. This is the logo of the T-shirt. That I actually have it downstairs. So tomorrow you guys will see it again on the Sunday service. But I know it's kind of like backwards or something. You guys see there, but it says help create a new world. The Ji Dao monk, and it says free Buddhist education, meditation, and counseling, and it has my phone number, my primary phone number. So that's how I can measure some of these things, is that when someone calls my primary phone number, it's serious, because I have to even take the phone with me in the shower. But anyways, you can choose like different colors. I don't know, Sahari is very on point with you can choose orange, you can pink, there's red. Oh, and then let me show you the spiritual ninja logo. So she created the spiritual ninja logo that goes in the front. This goes on your left chest. So it's quite catchy. I think this also serves as the logo that signifies that you are a supporter of this particular school of Buddhism. And I can't wait to walk around America and people are wearing my shirts. And it's like, oh my God. And quite truth be told, people who give in Buddhism are like Buddhist angels. Just because when I measured the amount of people who've been following me and the amount of people who have donated, it was one of the most disappointing things I have ever seen in my whole entire monk career. Just because just the people who give, the not a lot. So I was just like, oh, it's the same experiment that these guys started to do. And I might just do this one particular experiment. Someone said hats. Okay, I should do hats too, right? Hats and beanies. Chi Dao monk. School of Chi Dao. I don't know how that's gonna go. We'll let Sahari figure it out. Or you guys can text Sahari. You guys can get with Sahari Ook. OUK. Sahari Ook. Last name Ook on Facebook, and let her know designs and stuff. Obviously, she's gonna need money for the designs. And I didn't realize how tedious the task was going to be. What was I gonna say? Just lost my train of thought. It's 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, I should now definitely wrap this up for tomorrow. But let's reserve some talks for tomorrow as I review my students' insight meditation tomorrow. They're progressing quite fast. It's one of the fastest groups in moving along CBT, and boom, insight meditation. So, okay. All right. Anyway, any further questions can be directed towards my direct message on Instagram, or you can leave comments on my YouTube. Again, a whole library of teachings on YouTube. Those who wants to travel, again, visit my Linktree. Those who wants to donate and contribute or buy a shirt that contributes to life-saving programs, go on Linktree. Everything Linktree. All right, have a good night. Don't stay up too late. Don't party too hard on the weekend. And see you all tomorrow at 9 in the morning at Blissful Beginnings, for those who are coming. Ooh.